Chapter number 2, Sexual Reproduction in Flowering Plants. Floriculture, the science of cultivation, breeding, and marketing of the flowers. It is the branch of plant embryology. The father of the Indian plant embryology is Professor P. Maheshwari. Flower is a modified shoot which has stalk called peduncle or pedicle. The free end of the pedicle is flattened and is called thalamus, the base of the flower. It consists of four nodes with shorter internodes, on which modified leaves are arranged in the form of flowering whorls. Two outer whorls are non-essential or accessory whorls. Calyx consists of sepals and corolla consists of petals. Remaining two inner walls are essential or reproductive walls. Androecium, the wall of stamen, male reproductive part of the flower, and gynoecium, the wall of carpels or pistil, female reproductive part of the flowers. On the basis of the flowering and fruiting behavior of the plants, they are classified into two types: monocarpic plants and polycarpic plants. Monocarpic plants are those that flower, set seeds, and then die, means flowering and fruiting once in the lifespan. Annual and biennial plants are monocarpic plants. Polycarpic. Polycarpic plants are able to reproduce multiple times. So flowering and fruiting takes many times during the lifespan. All the perennial plants are polycarpic. But there are some exception cases like bamboos and century plants which are perennial plants by nature but reproduce only once in the whole lifespan, so they are monocarpic. Bamboos have 50 to 100 years of lifespan, so it is perennial, but flower only once in the total lifetime, so monocarpic. Androecium. It is male reproductive part of the flower which produces male gametes. Those are called pollen grains. Androecium consists of stamens, here shown in the picture. Stamen is differentiated into two parts. One is a long thin filament and anther. At the distal end of the filament is a swollen microspore bearing structure is present is called anther. At the proximal end of the filament joins the stamen to the thalamus. Anther and filaments are attached together by a region called connective, which consists of vascular tissues. The main part of the stamen is anther and is generally bilobed. Each anther lobe has two theca, so it is called dithecous. Each theca consists of microsporangia in it, which will be converted into pollen sac. Structure of anther. As we had discussed already, generally anther is bilobed and each lobe has two theca. So total four thecas are there. And the transverse section of the anther, here we can observe that each microsporangia is covered by four different layers, in which the first and outermost is epidermis, a single celled protective layer. Second, and below the epidermis, single celled thick fibrous layer is called endothecium. Alpha cellulose fibers are found in their cell wall. This layer becomes hygroscopic in nature due to fibers, which helps in dehiscence of anther. Below it, parenchymatous 1 to 3 celled thick middle layer is present, which is short lived, means ephemeral, so it is absent in the mature anther. The last and innermost, tapetum, which is nutritive single celled layer. The main part of the anther is microsporangia, consists of sporogenous tissue. Now let's discuss about the functions of tapetum. It provides nutrition to PMC, pollen mother cells, or MMC, microspore mother cells, and developing pollen grains. So ultimately it is also disappeared in mature anther. It secretes some enzymes and hormones which are related to microsporogenesis, means formation of microspores. Before disappearing, it produces some granules called proiobis bodies. Then these granules are surrounded by sporopollenin, polymer of carotenoid. Now it is called ubis body or orbicles, which are then released into pollen sac. And ultimately, sporopollenin participate in the formation of outer covering of pollen grain. Pollen kit is also secreted by tapetum. Pollen kit is a sticky surface material of pollen grains. Development of anther and microsporogenesis. First, development. Primarily, anther appear as oval or spherical shaped outer growth of the meristematic tissue. Then, epidermis covers the meristematic tissue and vascular tissues are formed in the middle region and start differentiation. Now it is called archisporial cells. Archisporial cells are further differentiated into primary parietal cells and primary sporogenous cells. Primary parietal cells, which will further develop into walls of anther, endothecium, middle layer, and tapetum. Primary sporogenous cell differentiated into sporogenous cells and then into pollen mother cell or microspore mother cell. Microsporogenesis, formation of microspores. Each PMC, pollen mother cell, undergoes meiotic division and forms four haploid spores or pollen grains. This group of four microspore is called tetrads. Now this microspore undergoes some changes and takes sporopollenin, a polymer of carotenoids, from ubis body and are called pollen grain. These are some important facts about pollen grains. Polyspory. If more than 4 pollen grains are found in tetrad, then it is called polyspory, which is noticed in Cascata. Pollen grains of some plants are present in the air and caused for allergy and are called aeroallergens. Cynopodium, parthenium or carrot grass, and sorghum pollen grains are aeroallergens. And the most important, hay fever is caused by pollens of ambrosia. Pollens are also used as food supplements in the form of syrups and tablets. Longest pollen grain is found in Zostera, smallest in Myosotis, and largest in Mirabilis. The period for which pollen grains remain viable is highly variable. Like in some cereals like rice and wheat, pollen grains lose viability in 30 minutes, and in some families like Rosaceae, Leguminosae, and Solanaceae, they maintain viability for some months. Pollen banks store pollen grains at minus 196 degree Celsius temperature by using liquid nitrogen. Structure of microspore or pollen grain. Pollen grains are generally spherical, measuring about 25 to 50 micrometers in diameter. Pollen grain is surrounded by two distinct wall layers. The outer wall layer is thick, rigid, and ornamented, called exine, and is mainly made up of sporopollenin, polymer of carotenoids. Sporopollenin is highly resistant organic material and it is non-biodegradable. It can withstand high temperatures, strong acids, and alkali. No enzyme that degrades sporopollenin. Due to the presence of sporopollenin, fossils of the pollen grains are always found in good condition. The inner wall of the pollen grain is thin, soft, and elastic in nature, is called intine. It is made up of pectin and cellulose or pectocellulose. At few places, exine is usually absent or present in the form of thin layer. This place is called germ pore. The intine comes out through the any one germ pore during the germination of pollen grain in the form of pollen tube. A detailed study of the pollen grain is pylonology. Pollen kit composed of lipid or carotenoids and available for below the functions for protection from the UV rays. It sticks surface help to attach the insects. Its yellow color attracts the insect. Dehiscence of anther. During the maturation of anther, various changes take place in the wall of anther. In the beginning, middle layer degenerates due to absorption of food by tapetum. In mature anther, only two layers, epidermis and endothecium, are present. So, tapetum and middle layers are degenerated. The sterile tissue present between the both pollen sac of each anther lobe degenerate, so both pollen sac of each anther lobes fuses together to form single pollen sac. Therefore, in mature anther, only two pollen sacs are present. Dehiscence of the anther take place during the dry season. Walls of endothecium try to contract due to the loss of water, but Inner and radial walls do not contract due to the presence of fibrous thickening, which exert pulling force or tension over the entire surface of the anther, and descents of the anther take place. Descents of the anther in the most of the angiosperm is longitudinal.